Hi students, welcome to today's session. Today we will be discussing on the topic cell wall. I hope you are familiar with the term cell wall. In the previous session on the introduction of cell biology, we have mentioned about the discovery of cells by Robert Hooke. So here also we are mentioning him again, that is, he was the one who first observed and named cell walls. I hope you remember the experiments which were discussed previously. And in 1804, Carl Rudolphy and Link proved that cells have independent cell walls. So what is a cell wall? Cell wall is nothing but it is a structural layer that surrounds some type of cell and is situated outside the cell membrane. It is tough, flexible and rigid and provides both structural and support and protection to the cell. The cells of bacteria, fungi, plants and cyanobacteria have a rigid cell wall just outside the plasma membrane, and this is the feature which distinguishes them from the animal cells. We know animal cells don't have a cell wall. And look at this figure. And here we can see three cells, and now we are going to look on the different layers of plant cell wall. Cell walls are typically laminar, that is, it is layered in nature. A mature cell wall has three different layers, that is, from outside we have middle lamella. As far as this cell is concerned, or this cell is concerned, or this cell is concerned, from the outside, from the outside, middle lamella is the first layer. It is the outermost layer, middle lamella. Then, to the inner of the middle lamella, we have primary wall. So, outermost is middle lamella, then comes the primary wall, and inner to the primary wall, we have secondary wall, and then comes the plasma membrane. So these are the three different layers of plant cell wall. Now let's go into the details of each layer. First one is the primary wall. Primary wall is the first formed wall layer of a cell. That is, when a cell is formed from the meristematic cell, it has to grow and expand in its size for getting differentiated. So at that time, it has only the primary wall. So it is thin, as we saw it in the figure, and it is flexible and extensible. Only because of that, the cell after formation, when it is small in size, it will expand and grow in size. And then it is formed of cellulose, hemicellulose and pectins. The wall of dividing and growing meristematic cells is primary, that we just mentioned, and it is usually associated with the living protoplast and may change its size and shape according to the growth of the young protoplast. Changes in the thickness of primary wall are reversible and not permanent, but those in secondary wall are permanent and non-reversible. So that is why primary wall is first formed, and later, after the cell completes its full growth, it expands in size and becomes mature. Then only the next layer, that is the secondary wall, is laid, because secondary wall is thick and this thickness formed is not reversible. So what all points we have to mention now under the secondary wall? It is thick, its thickness is irreversible, and it is formed only when the cell completes its growth and maturity. and it is present inside the primary wall, contains lignin and density of wood and cellulose fibers are present in composition. Then here also we can see in this figure, this is the cytoplasm. Outside the cytoplasm, we have the first innermost layer, that is the secondary wall. Innermost layer is the secondary wall. It again has three different layers that we are leaving apart. Secondary wall is again lamina, it has three different layers. And outside the secondary wall, we have the primary wall, and outside the primary wall, we have the middle lamella, which cements the adjacent cells. So from inside, we have secondary wall, primary wall, and middle lamella. And if we are coming from the outside, we are counting from the outside, we have outer layer is middle lamella, then primary wall, then secondary wall. So just remember the order. And middle lamella, it is the outermost layer between the adjacent plant cells. It is just a cementing material which fills the intercellular space in between the cells, and it contains pectin. It gives stability and is made up of calcium and magnesium pectate. Middle lamella, coming to the forming things, middle lamella is formed when the cell divides, and we know that if a cell divides and forms two daughter cells, the cell separates by the formation of a cell plate during the cytokinesis. And this cell plate is the one which later on becomes the middle lamella. And primary wall, it is composed of cellulose fibrils, and it is produced at the plasma membrane by an enzyme complex called cellulose synthase enzyme complex. And secondary wall, it is constructed between plasma membrane and primary wall. Plasmodesmata, we know it is the cytoplasmic connections between the adjacent cells and is meant for cell-to-cell communication. And cell walls in prokaryotes and eukaryotes are different. Eukaryotic cells have cell wall which is composed of polysaccharides and polymers like chitin, cellulose, etc. And examples for eukaryotic cell wall, we can quote fungal cell wall, plant cell wall, algal cell wall, water molds, slime molds, etc. And in prokaryotic cell wall, we can say bacterial cell wall as an example. Bacterial cell wall, we mentioned it in the session prokaryote versus eukaryote in our previous video, and still just mentioning about this. This is a prokaryotic cell. We can see this red colored layer. It is the outer membrane or the capsule layer, and inner to it is the cell wall. Yellow colored layer is the cell wall, and the green colored one is the plasma membrane. And bacteria are of two different types, gram-negative and gram-positive, and both are having different types of or difference in their cell wall layer. In gram-negative bacteria, we have an outer membrane, and inner to the outer membrane is the cell wall. Here it is only a thin cell wall, you can see in the figure. Then comes the plasma membrane and cytoplasm. While in gram-positive bacteria, you can see the difference. It is this much of thick cell wall. So gram-positive bacteria has a thick cell wall and don't have an outer membrane. Then comes the plasma membrane, cytoplasm. So this is the difference between the cell wall layers of gram-negative and gram-positive. Gram-negative bacteria has a thin cell wall, while gram-positive bacteria has a thick cell wall. And coming to the functions of a cell wall. Why do a plant need a cell wall? It has several functions to play in a cell, and the first and the foremost one is to provide support to the cell and protect the protoplast from lysis. It gives the cell rigidity and strength, also acts as a physical barrier to the plant. It prevents dehydration and enables the aerial existence of plants, also forms a protective barrier against pathogens and injuries. It allows the cell to become turgid by endosmosis and at the same time prevent the bursting of the cell. It determines the form and shape of the cell and regulates its growth also. And since the cell wall is freely permeable to water, gases and solutes, it can serve as a freely permeable route for the movement of material into and out of the cell. It actively participates in growth, differentiation, and cell recognition, serves as a center of enzyme activity. It promotes cell-to-cell signaling through their cell walls. These much of functions are being played by a cell wall. So that's all for today. Thank you.